All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports and Weather Call. Give us a call tonight, 412-575-2600 is the number. We can continue the weather discussion.
Well, no, I thought you were bringing the weather guy.
I'm trying to. I tweeted him 5 times. He's not coming over here.
He doesn't want any parts of this.
I want to get an update what it's going to be like in Churchill tomorrow, where I live. So
well, I saw one weather model that has Penn Hills, right, which is close enough.
Yeah,
to you,
right by me. Getting hit the hardest.
1 to 13 inches.
I think that was the Weather Channel app. That's why you should tune in to KDKA and Ray Penn.
1 to 13 inches.
So, anyways, let's get into the sports discussion. And
was it last year? Well, you know, was it last year that we had one of these like the weather Armageddons were coming and like nothing? Like
I think it was 2017.
Yeah,
people took pictures. Yeah,
a light dusting or whatever.
Yeah, I hope it. Look, I hope it turns into that tomorrow. You know, I think it's a good thing that everyone's prepared.
Rich, I've lived in Pittsburgh my whole life. It's part of living here. You get weather, you get rain, you get, you know what I mean? And, you know, it is what it is. I got to work tomorrow. Do you got to work tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow.
I got to be.
Maybe you want to come over here afterwards.
I'll be at the fan, so maybe I'll come down here.
Yeah,
after I'm
if you're stuck, let's come.
You know, I'll come down here and we can talk about the weather.
Anyways, Captain USA just tweeted us. He said, "Blizzard of '93. I was loving life, and my mom told me I wasn't calling off work, and she made me walk to Kmart to work. I was one of 6 people working, 0 customers in '93. Also, Golf Jerk just tweeted us, no sports talk tonight, please. Just let Zeise tell stories and talk about Pittsburgh weather for 25 minutes. Yeah, you know, we should have a Paul Zeise, half-hour of Paul Zeise, so you can just tell stories.
Yeah, that's basically the start of my show every night, my radio
What
show.
happens? My buddies always call me and tell me that, I think it was the other night you had a problem before you walked into work or something. But
yeah, no, that's why. See, for me to do my show,
you always have an issue.
For 4 hours, for me to do my show in order to be focused on sports, I have to unload whatever happened to me during the day.
And it's always something.
Goofy things happen to me all the time.
Like travel to El Paso.
It's crazy stuff. And so when I come in, you know, like that day your buddies are talking about, I was trying to get something real quick to eat at McDonald's because I was late. I wasn't late, but I had carved out like 10 minutes where I could run down there. And I pull up. 2 cars pull right in front of me real quick, you know. So I'm like, okay, I still got enough time. And the guy in front of me literally, first of all, it takes 10 minutes to figure out what's on the menu. It's like, how many times you've been to McDonald's in your entire life? Why do you need to sit here and look at, I mean, seriously, it's the same stuff it's been since I was like in 15 years old, okay? That was number 1. Then number 2, it was, let's special order every single thing we're special ordering. We've got 6 kids in the back of the minivan. We got to get them all, what are those things called? Happy Meal, and make sure we specify which toy we need. I was like, I guess I'm just not going to eat today, and pulled out a line. That's what I had to, I ranted about that. Then I was able to do my show. Let's talk sports.
All right, well, Pitt is an 8.5-point underdog in Syracuse tomorrow, Paul. I definitely think they cover this spread. I don't know if they can win this game, but this is a confidence team right now. Both teams are coming off good wins, but, you know, this was a bigger win for Syracuse beating Duke. I think Pitt's gaining some momentum. I like the way they're playing. I like their guard play, and I really like the way Brown is playing underneath. This is a guy that's really developed a little bit.
Syracuse has got size, you know, they've got that 2-3 zone, which can be a little bit tricky, but to me, Syracuse really started off the season playing poorly. Now, they've played better of late, but everyone's pointing to that Duke game. You know, right before the Duke game, they lost by 15 to Georgia Tech. So this isn't like some, you know, this is still a team that's very much in question if they're even going to make the NCAA tournament. So,
but it's the zone that gives teams problems.
It's the zone. It's up there in the dome for the first time for these young kids. It's, you know, I mean, there's a lot of different things. You know, this is a kind of probably a game where it's about pace and tempo. If Pitt can get it moving up and down the court a little bit like they like to play, then they have a shot. But if they get drawn into a Syracuse game where it just becomes a slugfest, possession by possession, you know, which is what a lot of these Syracuse games become because of the zone.
Yeah.
I think that's bad for Pitt. I think they'll have a hard time winning that.
Did you change your opinion? Because we were at the Louisville game, and it seemed like both teams were really bad at times. You know, it was bad basketball at times during that game. But, you know, I watched the Florida State game, and I was somewhat impressed. And I don't know if that was just Florida State being off or that was Pitt just playing better. and coming into their own.
Pitt played well. I mean, I thought Pitt played well against Florida State. You know, and Florida State, to me, you know, they looked like a team that was emotionally spent.
Yeah, they didn't have their legs. They were bad from three.
Less than 48 hours earlier, they lost that heartbreaking game to Duke.
To Duke.
You know, and you know, it was a really tough game. 40 minutes compete. You know, and then you lose a game like that. You come up here, it's cold. You know, you go from the hotel to here, it's cold. It's like, we just want to go back to the Florida weather. You know what I mean? And that's not to take away from Pitt, but I think, what were they, 2 for 23?
They were horrible from 3.
Yeah, they were 2 for 23 from the 3. That's a
sign that they were tired.
Yeah, they've got, but Pitt played well now. That's the thing.
All right, let's go out to the phone lines. And, you know, guys want to switch the conversation. I'd like to maybe talk about Bucko baseball. I'm going to spring training in about a month here, so let's get Pete out in Squirrel Hill. What's up, Pete?
Hey, guys, how are you tonight? Happy New Year, both of you and your families.
Thanks, you too. Thanks for calling.
Real quick, guys, Thanksgiving 1950, 31 inches, the biggest snowstorm in the history of Pittsburgh. But what I'm calling about is Bob Pompiani fielded a couple calls this week about baseball, which you just talked upon. And Corey Dickerson was signed to an extension.
Yeah.
My question is, how bad is
arbitration.
How bad is left field in a national that Corey Dickerson won a Gold Glove? Defensive metrics and advanced analytics grade him out as a 5 on range, a 5 on reaction time, and a 4 on throwing arm strength and accuracy. Is there a bunch of grandmothers playing left field in the National League?
Hey, Pete, I appreciate your call. And, yeah, Corey Dickerson, he's no Starling Marte in left field.
But he
was okay.
He had a good season.
Yeah.
And he threw out some guys at the plate, you know. He didn't make a ton of errors. His range is what it is, but I thought he played well in left field. You know, that's sometimes a mediocre guy has a good season.
And I think you can get away with a guy like him in left field if you have a guy like Starling Marte in center.
Yeah.
He can make up a little more ground.
But here's the thing: he could go back to being Corey Dickerson, and you know what? In this left field over here, that's a problem.
But you're only stuck with this guy for 1 year, right? And you only have him for 1 year,
maybe even a half a year.
Yeah. So you're eventually going to upgrade at left field, maybe with one of these younger guys, or maybe they potentially make a trade or sign a free agent, which, you know, they haven't done
that's the
yet,
kind of thing,
so.
you know, he's on an expiring contract.
Yeah.
So, because he's a free agent.
Hey, if he's off to a great start, you get rid of this guy at the trade deadline. That's what I think.
I think they might anyway, just because, you know, you're unloading some money.
Yeah.
And you're going to bring in somebody that's
unless
younger
they're
and
in
cheaper.
contention.
If they're in contention, and if they traded him and they were in contention, there would be a outcry.
I still think there's going to be an outcry if they don't try to sign anyone or if they don't make a move. I mean, they lost 400,000 fans last year.
They need a shortstop.
I think potentially that could happen this year.
They need a shortstop.
They need one. They need to fill the gap in the shortstop. Yeah. Maybe need to sign another starting pitcher, and I think fans would be happy. Just do a couple things. All right, well, we got to take a break. We took up a lot of time that segment. So back with more of your phone calls and some of your tweets coming up next. Stay right there.